Welcome to Podnutz Daily for February 16th, 2009, episode number 145. Talked earlier, a couple episodes ago, about recovery partitions, like system recovery partitions that come packaged in with, your HP laptops and desktops now, and all different models now have recovery partitions. Gateways, Dells, all of them pretty much do now. Companies don't like to package disks with their computers anymore. They want you to do the work of making your own recovery disks. So that's what you're basically dealing with there. Anyway, sometimes, like say you take a Vista operating system and you reinstall it, or you downgrade to like XP, a lot of times you kind of mess up. It messes up how you get into the recovery partition. Like, for example, on HP, you would normally hit like F11 at startup. That would bring you into the recovery partition. Say you have a Vista machine, you downgraded it to XP, and you try to go back into the recovery partition by hitting F11, it won't work. So as long as you didn't delete the recovery partition, you can still access it by making it the active partition. And again, Ultimate Boot CD, there's a great tool in the disk tools partitioning section. There's a tool called mbrwiz. Master Boot Record Wiz, mbrwiz. And in there you could just set the active partition to the recovery partition and run the recovery system recovery, which is fine. But after that's over, you have to set the active partition back to the C partition or whatever the main boot partition is. Otherwise, you'll keep booting into the recovery partition. Works like a charm, though. Really fast tool. And another good thing for the Ultimate Boot CD, which I'm starting to really, really like. Had another computer giving me errors after I did a major repair on it, basically giving me error. I did a Windows repair. What else? I just did clean up spyware, malware, ran Dialogfix, CCleaner, Smith fraud fix, reset Internet Explorer, did all kinds of stuff to it. And then I did a Windows repair because that stuff didn't work. And I was getting a DEC, data execution prevention error. It says repair, okay. And it was saying that the DHCP wizard would not start. Something like that was the error. DEC, data execution prevention. It might be DEP. I don't know why I have DEC. It might be DEP. Data execution prevention. And you can actually, I think that this tool comes built into Windows, and it's designed to stop malicious software from starting. Well, the DHCP wizard, it was preventing from starting, and that needs to start for you to like get internet access and this kind of thing. So you could go into the data execution prevention settings. It's in System under Advanced, and I think Environmental Variables. Sorry, guys, I don't know. I'm a little unprepared today, so I don't know exactly where. But it's in the Control Panel, System, Advanced. Click everything in there. It's one of those buttons, and you could actually tell the DEP what you want to allow and what you don't want to allow. So you could turn off stuff from there. So if you're getting data execution prevention errors, and you know that the thing that's trying to start is a safe program, you could turn it off in there. Hang on a second, guys. I just heard a strange noise. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Heard some glass dropping. My cats were nowhere in that room. I don't know what happened, but everything looks okay. So sorry about that. Okay, back to the thing here. Had a system today. We did a huge malware removal job on this computer. Unfortunately, on some systems, when you remove enough malware, that malware and viruses have attached themselves to system files that sometimes it makes your system unstable after you remove it all because it's trying to take parts of the operating system with it, and sometimes it succeeds. Well, this particular system, once we cleared off all the malware, had every time you tried to open the task manager, it would flash on for a second and flash off. Every time you tried to open msconfig, it would flash on and then flash off. And there was one other thing it would do that for. Well, I Googled that. I think I Googled flash task manager flashing or something like that. And somebody actually created a tool that handles when your task manager and msconfig flash on and flash off. It renames the executable files and does like a little shuffle with it. So everything supposedly works fine after that. Well, I guess under normal circumstances this tool would work, but it didn't work when I tried it. But at least I want people to know that it's there. If your task manager's flashing on and off and you can't get it to stay on, try running this tool first. If that doesn't work, well, I actually ended up having to reinstall the operating system, because after when that happened, I tried logging into some other user accounts. The desktop wouldn't even show up. I needed to get the computer done in like 2 hours, and at that point, we'd put like 8 hours into the thing. It wasn't going to get any better. We couldn't do any more repairs. Had to do an install. So I ended up doing a reinstall. So I don't know the exact fix for getting that flashing task manager to flashing msconfig to come back on. So we handled it by doing a reinstall. But that tool exists, so maybe it does work. I don't know. But if you are experiencing that, try the tool first. And then if you find out really how to fix it after that, if that tool doesn't work, then let me know. Another interesting thing that happened today was we ran malwarebytes on Friday on a system. It found a bunch of stuff. We were still having problems. Actually, this is the same computer I was just talking about. It was still having problems, just general Windows problems and things that malware may cause, like desktop problems and task manager problems. And so we decided, since Malwarebytes didn't handle that, my dad was doing the job. He looked online. He said a lot of people were handling that problem by running super anti-spyware, which does repair a lot of these things, like the task manager and things that are system executables that you should be allowed to run, but sometimes malware turns them off. So we ran super anti-spyware, and to our surprise, super anti-spyware found a ton of stuff that Malwarebytes didn't find. So even though I was like a staunch supporter of Malwarebytes a couple weeks ago, and that's all we've been using, you know, you turn around and then they look at super anti-spyware, and then you start to and it finds stuff that Malwarebytes didn't find, and then you start to really realize that it's a race. It's a race to beat the spyware, and sometimes one company is going to be in the lead, and other times another company is going to be in the lead, and then maybe Malwarebytes and super anti-spyware, something better out there for that month or that week. So they're all the anti-spyware companies are racing each other, and they're also racing to get ahead of the spyware creators. So I can't say use Malwarebytes forever, but as we've been doing a lot of jobs lately, Malwarebytes has been clearing up tons of stuff. But in this particular job, since we had to try super anti-spyware, we found that it found stuff that Malwarebytes doesn't find. I guess bottom line is, if you have the time, run both. It can't hurt. If you're short on time, I've been using Malwarebytes and just running that first. Customer called up today, really freaked out. He was a real estate person. That was his job. And he could not send attachments with Gmail. Every time he logged on to Gmail, he would get a server error. And he thought it was on his end. He